Welcome to the Ugandan Dream. We are back on site and progress is moving along nicely. As you can see, we are back, and after a month's wait, because that's normally how long it takes, about a month and a week for the concrete slab to dry so that we can start to build on it again. Now the concrete slab is dry and it is ready, and this is me with the engineer, and we are marking out and carving out the rooms. The master bedroom, upstairs we're going to have a master bedroom. We're going to have 2 more rooms with en suites, and then also we're going to have an office space which is going to be open plan. So guys, when you're building in Africa, this part is very important because there are going to be changes you're going to make during this period of time, especially around this place, in terms of you might want to add an extra bathroom or take away a bathroom. You might want to actually say, you know what, the office space is too big, let's make 2 rooms. So here, what I hadn't included was a actual prayer room. So I actually added a prayer room on the upstairs because there was so much space. So once again, there are things that you're going to change, because on the drawings there was an actual prayer room, but I added it there because I was on site. And this is key: before they start laying the brickwork for the upstairs, you'll see the engineer has brought out his lines and he's drawing his perimeters and just giving information to the bricklayers of where things are going to be, while I also tweak a few things, and the engineer tells me, up, we can do that, or we might need to, or what you're planning might actually compromise the structure strength. So this part is very important, and we're just outlining the rooms for upstairs before the bricklayers get to work. Now we have an update on the septic tank. Now, for those of you who do not know what a septic tank is, in most countries you have your property and the actual sewage, meaning everything that comes from the bathroom and your taps and so on, we build our own system which is called a septic tank. So this is the engineer just explaining to me how it's developing. And this septic tank, once it's finished, it normally, depending on the occupancy of the house, it will take about 7 to 8 years for it to need to be drained. So this is the septic tank that will deal with the waste from the house, and it's an efficient system and it works fine. This 2 days after, I returned to the site to see that the brick layers have started to lay the bricks after me and the engineer had set up the lines. So they've started to lay the bricks for the 2nd floor. I am currently on the balcony of one of the rooms on the 2nd floor, and I'm going through one of the doors, which will be a door. And also this is another room on the 2nd floor. Every room has an ensuite and a space for a walk-in closet. And then I also am on the balcony, which is a nice view on the balcony from one of the rooms. And as you can see, the pillars, they're going up nicely. So I come out the door from one of the rooms, and then here's the prayer room, which I added, which wasn't on the initial drawings. And there's the ladders, you can see the stairs. And then we come into the open office. It's the open plan office. It's going to be an office with a glass on both sides, and then we come into, there's going to be a main door here for the master bedroom. One side will be this will be the bathroom. This will be the bathroom for the master bedroom, and this will be the walk-in closet for the master bedroom. And then the master bedroom is going to have a space for a bed and a space for a living quarter, like a living room, which is going to actually have a bath inside. So this is the master bedroom. This is the view. All this is going to be glass. Everything you see here is going to be glass, so the view is going to be amazing when you wake up. So it's going to be amazing. This side is going to be the living area. This is how it looks from the front. So we can see it's starting to take shape. And of course, we've had to do some adjustments on the drawings. We've added some windows and some more space. But the dream is starting to come to life. So this is where we are. Now, this is the master bedroom, and this is the view we are chasing. So, like I said, everything is going to be glass. So this is a rendition of how the master bedroom will look like for someone who wakes up in the morning. Now, it's important that we had the blocks made on site because it's much cheaper. Now, also, I was speaking to my engineer because we're going to actually build a private road. So we had done some land surveying and we found the perfect spot where we're going to build a private road that leads up to the resident. Now, since the scaffolding has been removed from the ground floor, this is the kitchen for the owner with good views, and also has a door onto the balcony. These are the views from the kitchen. So we see also that's the balcony. You see the door, and it goes out into the balcony. So that's the first kitchen, which is for the owner. Then we see there we have the stairway that will lead down to the basement gym, and that's currently being worked on. So they also started plastering the walls, which is good. And this is the plastering of the wall. You see the lights where they're going to be. This is the second bedroom on the ground floor, which is probably the smallest bedroom, but you can still fit a double-sized bed in there. It has an ensuite and it has space for your closet, and it also has access to the balcony. So you have large windows and 2 window doors. And then the second kitchen, which this is the network room where you'd have the batteries for the solar and so on. And you also have a large window because we're going to need this to keep this room air conditioned and keep it cool, because you're going to have the network, the batteries, everything that's connected to the house. That is the door for the second kitchen, which the maid will use, which is what we call the wet kitchen. So it's a bit messy in there, but we're going to remove that and let the boys get the plastering done. That's the second kitchen. We just had access to the back, and then they're plastering. Then also we see this is the main hall with the living room on the right and the hall on the left and the stairs. And this is going to be a dining area slash bar. So we're going to mix it, dining with bar as well. And as you can see, those are the stairs leading upstairs. So the boys and the engineer, they've started to plaster the ground floor because they removed all the scaffolding. So the work is going well, and the engineer and his boys are working fast, and they're very professional. That's what I can say. Let's go. Now we head outside and look at the perimeter wall, and we start to see that they are busy working on the drainage for the water, because I must emphasize, especially when you're building on top of a mountain, you have to make way for the water, because if you do not, it will actually soak into the wall and eventually will collapse the wall. So they are actually currently working on the drainage for the water, because we have quite a lot of rainfall, so we have to make way for this water to go down the mountain and into the necessary reservoirs and so on. So the boys are busy at work fixing and putting the rocks that are needed in order for us to create a proper drainage, make sure that the water has a place to go, so it does not go into the foundation of the wall, because I have seen it happen many times where people actually neglect this, and within a few short years their wall just suddenly collapses. I've seen it a few times. So we have to make sure that everything is perfect, and we have to make sure that we create a drainage for the water, because there is a lot of water that comes down from the land above. So the boys are busy at work, working on a drainage, making sure that when the water comes, it will go down the passage and it will go down to the mountain. So this is good work, and they're working, and they are ahead of schedule actually, because one thing when you're building in Africa, give deadlines, give your workers, give your engineers deadlines, that you need something finished by a certain time. That way they also feel a little bit of pressure, so they are not slack in their working. Now I returned to the site after 2 days to see that the brickwork is going very, very well. It's actually almost at the point of shuttering, and as you can see, the scaffolding manager, the shuttering manager, has already started to pour the pillars. Some of the pillars have actually started to be poured, so the work is going according to schedule, and the bricklayers actually have done a good job, and we are almost at the point of shattering. But I'm just having a look around, making sure everything is fine. So when you're on your site, sometimes you leave the site for about a day or 2 or 3 days, then you come back and you check and make sure everything's going well. So this is me returning after a few days, and so far so good. I don't see anything wrong here, and this is basically an eye check. I check everything for myself. I even walk through the house so I get a feel of it. If there's anything I don't like, I can tell them to change it. So this is why it's important to be on ground. 2 days on the way back to the site, I decided to stop off and have some grilled meat, and then we are back to the site and see how the work is going on. Now at this stage, after about a week and 2 days of working on the second floor, the brick layers are almost finished. The work is about 99%, about 90% to 99% finished. So the brick layers are almost finished with the first floor, with the bricks for the rooms and the layout. And we will begin next week the shattering for the pillars, the shattering for the columns, and we'll begin to lay the scaffolding for the roof, because it's going to have a flat roof. So we kind of moved away from the initial design. We was going to have a curved roof, but because we have such a beautiful view, we decided to have a flat roof and also create more space up on the roof, because we also be building another structure on the roof, but we're also going to have a rooftop. So it's going to be an entertainment area where you can relax and entertain people. So we decided to have a flat roof, which is actually added about another 20 grand to the budget, but that's fine, because you know, you do something once and you don't have to do it again. So we actually did not go for the slanted roofs that you know normally you see in houses. So we've gone for a flat roof, also to give the house a more modern feel. That's what we want. So we went for a flat roof, so those stairs that you see there will go all the way to the roof. So the boys are almost finished laying all the bricks, and then the scaffolding manager is going to come with his team, and they're going to start to lay the scaffolding for the roof, preparation for the concrete roof. And that's what we'll be covering on the next episode. But so far so good. The boys are working once again at a fast pace, and this project is looking like it's going to finish on schedule. So let's see. Scaffolding manager started to put up the structure for the second floor as we get ready to start to prepare for concrete in the roof. As you can see, after 3 days, the scaffolding manager was on site with his team, and they had started to put up the scaffolding and the wooden shuttering for the roof, the flat concrete roof. They started to put up the wood planks and the shuttering, the scaffolding for the roof, and they're also working on the pillars, finishing them, and everything is looking so far so good. And yeah, so far so good. So everyone is working according to schedule, and we are putting up right now the scaffolding for the roof, and you can see how it's going to look once it's finished. We're going to have a flat roof, so we're going to be able to utilize the space up here. We'll have solar panels. We're going to have an entertainment area up here, and yeah, so far so good. So that's it. After speaking to the scaffolding manager, they're starting to lay the black bags. So that's it for the Ugandan Dream on this episode. See you again next week.